G'day and welcome to this week's episode of the AFL Riverina Football and Netball Show. We've got a massive lineup for this week's edition. We catch up with the 1983 Premiership winning captain coach of the Coolman Footy Club, Russell Campbell, and we get all the tips from round 8 of the Riverina Footy League and round 7 of the Farah Footy League. First up, we're going to cross out to Hannah Maguire, who recently caught up with two-time Premiership winning captain of the Geelong Footy Club and current General Manager of AFL New South Wales ACT, Tom Harley.
Now a bit about you and your young life. Where did you grow up and what junior club did you play with?
I'm South Australian. I'm from Adelaide originally and played for a local club called the Walkerville Junior Football Club, the Cats, and started at under 8 and absolutely loved it, and still have got some friends that I played with back then, so I can really understand grassroots footy and the importance of relationships through there. Went to school in Adelaide, played for my school team, and found my way to Geelong via a trade from Port Power actually. So I've been really fortunate to play footy all my life and be surrounded by footy all my life, and absolutely love the game.
Okay, your career highlight?
My playing career highlight was definitely the 2007 Premiership. We won again in 2009 and lost in 2008, but the first one was great because we played for a country town in a national competition, and to see the level of support that the Geelong community wrapped around us was just overwhelming, and it meant a lot of great things to a lot of great people, and really proud to be part of that.
Okay, who's the best player you've seen?
Matthew Scarlett's the best player I've ever seen. He played a lot of footy with him in the back lines for Geelong, and he made the game look unbelievably easy, and at times I'd scratch my head and wish I was as good as him. But he does say nice things about me in return, so I'll just take that. Okay. They're all really good players. They're all really tough players. But I think Jonathan Brown is renowned as probably the key forward of the past 10 years. He was a fantastic player. But then there's Matthew Richardson, and there's Nick Revolt, and there's Brad Johnson, there was Ryan Treadray. So there was never an easy week. I found the game pretty hard. Okay.
And who did you idolise as a kid?
I idolised Tim Watson as a kid. I was a massive Essendon fan as a young fella, and I genuinely get a thrill out of spending some time with Kevin Sheedy now. He was the coach of the Bombers side when I was a fan as a kid, and Mark Thompson was one of the players for the Bombers too, who ended up coaching me at Geelong. And Tim Watson I spent a fair bit of time working with at Channel 7, so it's almost a kid in a candy store with those guys, but yeah, I was red and black for sure. Oh look, it'd be disappointing if Wagga didn't win, the Tigers didn't win, given the new facilities they've got, so they'd want to be asking some serious questions of their performance if they don't win the flag this year. Naranda were pretty good last year, obviously taking it out, but my money, if I was allowed to bet, would be on the Tigers.
Okay, and what about the Farah League?
Had a bit to do with young Jake Barrett, a bit of a rugby league convert through the under-16s program for Temora, so they won last year too, so we'll go with them.
Okay, and AFL Premiership?
Every year, probably till the day I die, I'll say that Geelong will win the Premiership, and I genuinely do believe that they're a chance. They were arguably the form side going into September, but performed below par against Fremantle in their first final, but it's really hard to go past the Sydney Swans. A really young side, played outstanding footy at the end of last year, and obviously won the Premiership, and with the addition of Kurt Tippett for the back half of the year and the just natural maturation of some of their players, they'll be hard to beat.
Okay, good to hear. I'm a Swans fan. Biggest threat to footy in New South Wales?
Look, it's a really interesting question, and a lot's made of the competition between sports codes anywhere around Australia, and in particular in Sydney. I don't think the sports codes are threats to each other. I think just whether it be social media or gaming or entertainment, just time poor, are major threats to all sports codes. So what I love about sport, and what I love in particular about the AFL, is that it's an outdoor, healthy and vibrant activity, and the more we can get young people, both boys and girls, getting outside and getting active is a really good thing, and we think that we'll play a significant part in that.
Thanks to Hannah and to Tom for that great interview. I'm now joined by this week's celebrity tipster, none other than the 1983 Premiership winning captain coach of the Coolman Footy Club. Coolman this week celebrate their 1973 and 1983 premierships. Russell Campbell, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Matt. Pleasure to be here.
Now, in 1983, the Coolman Footy Club actually drew with East Wagga Coringal in the grand final and had to play a rematch the following week. What's your lasting memories of that grand final?
Well, that's going back a while, Matt, but just sort of casting back, I guess it was something that we just had to get on to and get prepared for the following week. A drawn grand final is very rare. But yeah, the players just picked themselves up, and we just got on with preparing for the replay of the grand final.
Now, talk to me about that week in itself. Obviously, you've drawn the grand final in the first week. Now you've got to play the following week. What was the experience like, and what did you say to the boys during that week at training?
I think the most important thing when you come out of a drawn grand final is you try and mentally keep the players up, and not so much physically, because you've already done all the work. So it just gets back to mentally preparing yourself for the following week. And
what do you remember most about winning the grand final replay?
Well, I think you probably go back and you think about all the work that you did leading into that grand final of the replay. We did a lot of work at home where we just looked at all the things we could improve on, and all the players just did the right thing and worked really hard, and we got the result.
Now, in 1983, the club won the seniors and the reserves grand finals. There must have been a lot of depth within the footy club.
I think there was, but I think the main thing was that we had a lot of commitment from a lot of players, and if you didn't really want to do the work, you didn't really get the opportunity to play. And going back those times, we had good role models in the club and a very good committee, and well supported off the field. So the players just wanted to be part of it, and that helped us come up with a good side.
Now, you've had quite a distinguished career in football. You played with South Melbourne. You've obviously coached in the Riverina, in the O&M League, and also in the ACT. Curious to know, how did you end up coaching Coolaman, and when you started out as a Gan Main player, how did you end up becoming Coolaman coach?
Well, I suppose I'd moved away from Gan Main for quite a few years, having played in Melbourne and all the other places. I was born at the Coolaman Hospital though, so that was my claim to fame to say why I coached Coolaman. But the opportunity arose when I was in South Australia to come back and coach. Coolaman approached me, and I knew a few people on the committee and decided to give it a go. I was very keen to start my coaching career.
Now, do you wondering whether you watch a lot of local footy in the Riverina these days?
I don't see a lot of football these days. I have a few other things that I do follow, and but I do occasionally get out to see a game.
So we might move on to your celebrity tips for this week. We've got some crunch games coming up in both the OAMPS Insurance Riverina Footy League and the OAMPS Insurance Farah Footy League. We might start with the Riverina Footy League, round 8. We kick off with your old boys, Coolaman, taking on Leighton Winton. What are your feelings on that game?
Well, Matt, I've got to go for Coolaman, playing at home, and they're in very good form at the moment, so I'd have to go for Coolaman.
Wagga Tigers take on Narrandera. The Tigers come off a close win against Mangapla. Narrandera an upset win against Gan Main. What do we like? Who do we like there?
Well, I think Narrandera's got a few players back, and even though Tigers won well and they do play at home, it'll be a close game, but Narrandera might cause a little upset at home.
Colin Gully travel to Mangapla this weekend. They come off the bye, but have been in some good form after a slow start to the year. Are we going Goannas or the Demons there?
I think we'd have to go for the Demons there.
And the last game to round out the round 8 of the Riverina Footy League, we've got Gan Main taking on Griffith. Gan Main, first loss for the year last weekend. A bit of a shock loss. Griffith have also had a couple of rough weeks in recent times. Who do we like?
Long trip for Griffith getting across to Gan Main. Gan Main will want to bounce back, so I'll go for Gan Main.
Okay, beautiful. Let's rock straight on to round 7 of the Farah Footy League. We'll quickly run through these. We've got CSU and Mara first up.
CSU playing at home. Mara is struggling a little bit this year, so I'd suggest CSU win that one.
The Rock take on Colliamberley on top. Haven't lost a game yet.
No, cruising the Rock. They're going very, very well. They shouldn't underestimate Colliamberley, but I think they'll get across the line playing at home.
The Saints, North Wagga take on the Northern Jets. The Jets obviously had their first loss last weekend to the Rock. Can they bounce back?
I think the Jets, they've got to travel. North Wagga will be keen to do well. They haven't had a great season, but I think the Jets are in a bit more form, so they should win that one.
And East Wagga Karingal, the Hawks, running into a bit of form. Couple of wins over the last few weeks, but take on Temora this weekend. Probably one of the toughest tests for the Hawks so far this season.
It is a tough one, but it's always an advantage playing at home, so I'll go for East Wagga to just tip out Temora.
Russell Campbell there, folks. Thanks very much for joining us, Russell. 1983 Premiership Captain Coach of the Coolaman Footy Club. That's pretty much all we have time for this week's edition of the AFL Riverina Football and Netball Show. Make sure you get out and watch your team on the weekend, Barricade, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks for joining us.